the credits they made running the Red Mile, and asking if Reliant Medical could replace an eye. Heading down to New Homestead? Try to be respectful of their traditions, alright? Keep your speed in check. Unnecessary collisions should be avoided at all costs.
A new set of orders, for I will go wherever I am needed. Captain, I believe I will await your next order here.
I must confess, the hum of a grav drive makes me feel alive. Next time.
Careful. Damn power's on the fritz again. Joyce always seems to need help clearing ice off the equipment. We take vandalism seriously here. You do not mess with
I feel like a superhero here.
Feel free to look around, but do not touch.
I don't mind the tourists. They help the local economy. It's a little weird that people come here to see what early colony life... I could really go for some of Anya's cooking over at the Brown Horse.
Those folks in Sidonia may be closer to Earth, but we do a better job preserving its traditions.
And heads up, if you're planning on going to Chunks, Luther's been bothering anyone with the ship for help. New Homestead is a living history exhibit, but these are real people, so please be kind to them.
Happy to stay here a while. Lots to look at.
that way. Well, you don't want to get hurt or sick around here. Dr. Lakota really doesn't care for tourists. Wish someone could convince her otherwise.
Word of it. It's one thing to learn about early colony life. It's another to experience it.
The people here live a simple life. Try not. Don't stay outside for too long here on Titan. You will freeze solid without the proper protection. Welcome to New Homestead.
If you need medical attention, see Dr. Lakota. But a word of warning, she really doesn't care for tourists.
Hello. Enjoy your visit here.
Something else.
Ah, there. Always nice seeing a new face. You get used to the methane processing smell after a while. Off-worlders always ask how I can live here. I wonder how they can live anywhere else. Sure would be nice to get off-world sometime.
Do you come from one of those planets with beautiful skies and fresh air? My, how I'd love to visit one day. Ah, someone new. Are you a tourist, or have you just moved to New Homestead? Well, there's lots to learn. You can always feel free to try one of the historical tours, or ask the locals about life here. I'm fascinated by the other worlds in the settled systems. Do you mind if I ask you a question? Oh, wonderful. What's New Atlantis like? Oh my, that sounds incredible. Ever since I overheard one of the tourists speaking about it, I've always wanted to go. We hear about it, of course, but we rarely get much exposure to other worlds beyond the people who come from them to visit our little colony. I wonder if I can convince Nathaniel to go on a trip there with me and our daughter. Do you mind if I ask you another question? Thanks. I promise not to take too much of your time. Is the Freestar Collective as lawless as I've heard? I figured the stories weren't all true. How else would you expect people to live together if you can't trust in laws to keep everyone safe? Even in a small community like ours, we have to maintain law and order. Though, I understand it gets difficult to always protect that out in the vastness of space. I imagine it's the same in the Freestar Collective. Is it okay if I change the subject? Oh, thank you. Are there really planets full of plants, fresh air, and water? I've read about them. It seems incredible, doesn't it? I've only ever known Titan, and it's always so cold and drab. I've always dreamed of visiting one to breathe the air, feel the warmth of its sun, but my husband is reluctant to leave our home. Can I ask you something else? Thanks. I promise not to take too much of your time. Is space travel as exciting as it seems? I've heard stories about pirates and spaceship malfunctions and all sorts of terrible things. I've always wanted to try going into space, but I'm also worried about all those dangers. Maybe people here are right. The dangers here are few, and we know how to take care of them. Space is too unknown. Those are all the questions I have at the moment. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day for me. Hello. Don't mind me. I love talking with off-worlders like you. The elders say that preserving our tradition is so important, but I keep hearing such wonderful things about other worlds. Running this farm with my family for the sake of our little colony is one of the greatest pleasures in life.
Lots of history here, if you're into that sort of thing. I'm not sure that these space frog pictures fit with our town's historical aesthetic, but they do bring a smile to my face. We used to get more tourists than we do these days.
It'd be nice to get away for a while, but it's difficult. People rely on the farm. Thanks again for taking the time to answer questions for me. I learned a lot from you.
Hello? I'm not really supposed to talk with tourists, but I kinda want to anyway. And I don't think my papa is paying attention. You're not going to tell him, are you? It's just my daddy, really. My mama's okay with it. But, oh, fine. If you don't wanna, I get it. But, I love talking with tourists, so I'll be here if you still want to talk. I think it's pretty fun. And I get to be around my mama and my papa all day, so that's cool. They say we all have to work a little, because it takes all of us to make the community work. Just like on Earth a really, really, really long time ago. Someday, I think it'd be cool to see other places and do other things, but this is fine for now. My mama says it's because he thinks we'd up and leave if we found out about the rest of the worlds out there. But I keep telling him, I love it here, and I love him, and I would never leave him. He doesn't believe it. He says the kids almost always want to leave when they grow up. But not me. Nope. I just want to visit somewhere else. Maybe. Not really. There's some, though. Most are around my age. We all go to school in the same room. I don't know. I've never been to any other schools. we mostly learn about the history of the Sol system and Earth and stuff like that, until we get old enough to go on our learning vacation. That's when we get to leave to go to school somewhere else for a few years, or travel and visit other worlds, try out jobs and stuff. Oh, I can't wait. Let me know if you have any other questions. Papa, you're always talking about how important it is to preserve our traditions. But why do we have to farm? How is that part of our tradition?
Well, we tend the farm here because we need to grow food. And that's what our ancestors did on Earth.
But didn't they have big open fields and giant machines? We don't have any of that.
She makes a good point, dear.
It's because we have a much smaller space to work with.
So then, it's not really the same, is it? How is it a tradition if it's not the same thing as they did? And so then, why is it important that we preserve it?
I don't know, it just is. Now, we don't want to fall behind on work, so let's get back to it, okay, kiddo?
Okay, fine.
We Titans are hardy people. You'd have to be to live in a place like this. I overheard you speaking to my wife, Mara, filling her head with ideas about picking up and leaving home. You got anything to say for yourself? Listen here. Mara's free to make her own decisions. I'm not here to control her if that's what you're insinuating. But that doesn't mean I take kindly to other people manipulating her and telling her the other worlds are full of sunshine and rainbows. We live a simple traditional life here, and it's important to the community that we maintain that. Do you understand? People rely on technology too much. We need to remember how to perform the basics to survive in case we ever find ourselves without said technology. We need to remember where we came from, Earth, this system, lest we forget and repeat the same mistakes as before. We're one of the last colonies charged with that preservation. That's why it's important. Traditions like the way we tend this farm, strong family ties, early colonial life. We do it all with the bare minimum technologies to survive. Everything else is hard work done by humans. It's good for humanity's soul. Did you? Well, she should know better than to talk with tourists like you, but that's between me and her. Now, you might want to consider heading off before you cause any more trouble. I overheard you speaking to my wife, Mara. You got anything to say for yourself? Listen here. But that doesn't mean we live a simple... We're going to have to agree to disagree then. I only ask that you respect our wishes.
My pup, I've heard about lots of... Thanks for taking the time to talk with me.
Sure would be nice to get off-world sometime.
It'd be nice to get away for a while, but it's difficult. People rely on the farm. The elders say that preserving our tradition is so important, but I keep...
I overheard you speaking to my wife, Mara. You got anything to say for yourself? That's what I thought. Now, I'd appreciate if you keep your nonsense to yourself. I don't expect you to understand why it's important our people stay here and keep our traditional way of life. It's not. Thank you for realizing that. I'm sure you didn't mean anything by it, so we're good. You have yourself a day.
I don't mind the tourists. They help the local economy.
My daddy says farming is really important, but I kind of want to do other things.
Off-worlders always ask how I can live here. I wonder how they can live anywhere else. Those folks in Sidonia may be closer to Earth, but we do a better job preserving its traditions.
Careful. There are some dangerous areas around here that are not part of any tours.
This is a boring assignment, but let's keep it that way.
I could really go for some of Anya's cooking over at the Brown Horse.
Chefs and all that. It's a thing
I'm learning so much here. Everyone should visit at least once in their life.
Heat them up. We don't, like, make anything. You are really into chunks, huh?
Yeah, it's the greatest. Can't believe you're so down on it. We have the best job on Titan.
Whatever. I'm just doing this job to help my family pay the bills and save up so I can pay for my education. And I am out of here.
Things have never
Chunks.
been better since this
Excuse
Chunks
your
opened up. Makes me feel like we're actually part of the UC. Don't tell my wife, but I actually prefer Chunks to her cooking. And don't get me wrong, her cooking's great. Oh, you had to go and ask the hard questions, huh? How can I pick just one? There's chicken chunks, beef chunks, potato chunks, cheesesteak chunks, cheesecake chunks. You know what? I'm gonna cheat if you don't mind, and just say I love them all equally. You know I do. And what's not to love? It's delicious, nutritious, easy, fast, inexpensive. It sure makes my hungry belly sing for joy. Here, my wife thinks I eat too much Chunks food, but I just can't help myself. It's so good. Well, people gotta eat, you know? But seriously, I think we're just starting to get with the times a little. And I can't think of a better restaurant than Chunks to usher that in. I think corporate just saw New Homestead as an untapped market. Yeah, the locals may not eat it, but the tourists love having a taste of home. If I'm completely honest, it is. And people are always saying how this Chunks can't compare to the real deal. And I just know it's because we never had that mouth-watering sauce. I've been in contact with some of the other restaurants out there, and they'll give me some, but they say they can't afford to send it, and I don't have a ship, so what am I to do? For real, good question. They haven't said, but I think it has something to do with them prioritizing other chunks over mine. I guess it's made at a different facility than our other food, and they don't even want to pay the shipping cost to ship from another store to ours. Yeah, sometimes I get lucky and a cargo hauler passes through with a route that takes them near other chunks and back again, but there's no guarantee. You bet it is. You may not hear people talk about it, but trust me, it's the secret ingredient. It's like the glue that holds it all together. I mean, not literally. I'm not saying it's glue or that our food falls apart. It's delightful. Tangy, savory, it's a little sweet, but not too sweet. And I've noticed that once people find out we don't have it, sometimes they don't return. It's the reason business isn't as good as other chunks. Wait, for real? You do that? You're not pulling my leg? Oh, yeah, right. I actually just got a message back from another Chunks before you got here, and they got a case ready to go for me. Just tell them you're there to pick it up for me, and it should be good to go. Thanks.
Thanks for choosing Chunks. Which chunks would you like today? Welcome to Chunks. Home of the best chunks in the settled systems. I just serve the chunks. I don't make them.
It's so cold here. I guess I should have expected that.
Hey, welcome back. Can I get you something else?
Did you know
No, thanks.
the museum
I just had a
here is
question
full
about
of
the,
old Earth artifacts? Cool, huh?
Sure thing.
Do people on other worlds really eat this stuff? I mean, I'm no stranger to processed protein, but this is... Well, it's like eating the packaging the protein comes in. I don't see what the appeal is.
Chunks in for everyone, I guess. But I'll tell you, this is the most popular food in the settled system. They must be doing something right.
Maybe it's just me then. Oh well. More for everyone else.
This colony's a lot smaller than I thought it would be.
You get used to the methane processing smell after a while.
Ah, to lay eyes on the Earth just once. Hello there. Are you here to peruse our little museum exhibit? Please do. Our collection of unique Earth antiquities is the best in the settled systems, if I say so myself. If you have any questions about the exhibit or New Homestead, I'm happy to answer as best as I can. It's an interesting story. New Homestead began as a scientific research base called the Titan Astrobase, back when space travel was in its infancy. The hope was that humanity would be able to discover simple alien life here given the moon's composition and water supply. When that ultimately failed, it was repurposed as a colony research base, where scientists and engineers studied how to build colonies on inhospitable worlds. Then, finally, when gravity drives were commonplace and we started finding Earth-like planets, New Homestead was born as a living history community to preserve that past. When our early colonists learned of Earth's demise, they decided to take on the names of their cities of origin as a way to remember their heritage. Now, some may have been lost in translation over the years, and some may have taken it more seriously than others, but the names are mostly accurate. For instance, my family comes from the city of Lyon, in a country that was called France. I am Maurice Lyon, and I am the community elder. As the oldest living citizen at 96, my only job is to keep Earth history alive. I tell stories to the young people and the visitors from other worlds. Although my memory isn't what it used to be, I try my best to get the stories right. Sure, I'd love to. There was once a war, so big that they say all of the world was involved. This was actually the second time it happened. They fought because a terrible man named Hitler rose to power and slaughtered many innocents. Millions were lost. Even the colony war pales in comparison. Why, certainly. It's what I do. There was a time when huge monstrosities called dinosaurs ruled over Earth, long before humans existed. They were similar to some of the larger life forms you might see elsewhere in the settled systems. Their reign ended when I can never remember if it was a comet, an asteroid, or a meteor that hit the Earth. Whatever it was, it nearly wiped out most of the life at that time. Sorry, were you saying something? Let me think of a good one. A long time ago, thousands of years, humans built a wall so large, it spanned the northern length of one of Earth's largest empires, China. They called it the Great Wall of China, and it was meant to keep out invading hordes. If I recall correctly, it didn't always work as well as they had hoped. I'll have to look it up again. Memory's not what it once was. Of course, certainly. We have several items in our collection that we rotate in and out over time, but they all originate from the same place, Earth. We have everything from toys to antique technology to sports memorabilia. We even used to have an old Earth vehicle, but we had to sell it when we ran out of space for it. Most of our collection was donated by fellow Earth enthusiasts and historians who felt it belonged close to the homeland here in the Sol system. Thanks for visiting.
I can't imagine living here. These people sure are hardy. I still can't believe people actually live like this. I don't get it.
I'm sorry, what don't you get?
Earth. Like, what's the big deal? It's just another dead world.
It's where we're all from. It was a place of beauty and unimaginable history. I cannot overstate how important it was for all of humanity.
I guess so. Maybe I need to look up more about it.
We live a simple... life on New Homestead, but... make no mistake, it's fulfilling.
I could have sworn I've seen those silly little space frog posters somewhere else. Never thought I'd see them here.
Hi there. We used to get more tourists than we do these days. It's a little weird that people come here to see what early colony life was like. To
Do
me,
you want to
it's
know
just
what
how
life
we
was
live.
like for the early colonists? Starsap Tours was voted Best Historic Tour 3 years in a row. Why, hello there! I'm Bill Starsap of Starsap Tours. Let me tell you, this place is full of history and interesting facts. For instance, did you know that New Homestead was one of the first colonies established outside of Earth? It's been populated in some capacity for over 200 years. Well, there's plenty more where that came from if you're interested in taking one of my famous tours. So what do you say? I've got an opening. I could take you on a tour right now if you'd like. Definitely check out the Brown Horse Tavern. Good food, great atmosphere. Avoid spending too much time outdoors. It's freezing out there. Any more than that, and I'd be giving away the tour for free. Why would I want a tour of New Homestead, she says. Well, let me tell you, New Homestead is living history. These people are direct descendants of some of the first settlers to leave Earth. If you've ever wanted to know what that early colonial life was like, this is your chance to embark on a fun-filled exhibition unlike any other. Excellent! You won't regret it. My tours are one of a kind. Now, there's just the matter of price. The going rate for a genuine Starsap tour is only 100 credits. Well, 100 credits is very reasonable, I think. That's okay. This tour isn't for everyone, I know that, but my price is fair, and I think it's well worth the money. No one's forcing you to go on it. Sorry, I appreciate the offer, but exposure doesn't put food on my table. I don't see how. Sorry, but that's the price, and I'm not willing to go any lower right now. So what'll it be? Great! Let's get this show on the road, eh? All right, so this is New Homestead's main concourse. This underground area didn't exist when the original outpost, Titan Astrobase, was finished in 2130. Follow me. We'll come back here by the end of the tour and talk about... the museum collection. But first, let's go see where people live. Now remember, these people aren't actors. They actually live here, so
Don't stay outside
try to
for
be
too
respectful
long here
of
on
that.
Titan.
While
You'll
the
freeze
original
solid
inhabitants of
without
the
the
Titan
proper
Astrobase lived in pods like you saw up above, they transitioned down here when this section of the base was finished in 2144. Space is extremely limited, so you'll notice some overflow here, but more residences also exist on lower levels, which are inaccessible to tours. I'll stop at each of our destinations if you want to look around, or if you have any questions for me. Have any questions so far? I'm not sure the exact count, but New Homestead is a fairly small colony. What you see is what you get for the most part, except for some other people who live in the private lower levels. Some, particularly security, and yours truly, even commute from other worlds. The original Titan astrobase had more habitation pods on the surface connected to some of the old structures you may have seen in the back. As the colony grew, the base was expanded underground, and those hab units were recycled into materials used down here. Sadly, it's difficult to get additional construction done inside these underground caverns. So for now, additional populations are housed in these stacks of old shipping crates. As you might expect, this is where some of the less wealthy can afford to live. It's not glamorous, but they are functional and cozy. Oh, sure, I'll be here waiting. The locals love to talk with tourists, but they'll let you know if they're busy. So please respect them.
Ah! I have so much energy. I want to run around.
If you need medical attention, see Dr. Lakota. But a word of warning, she really doesn't care for tourists.
What can I do for you? Do you need medical assistance? Even though we don't have shiny new medical facilities, I imagine it's easier than wherever you're from. We have fewer people here, and we're very responsible when it comes to our personal health and welfare. So there's not much I can't handle. For anything else, we can get access to off-world specialists. Contrary to popular belief, we're not primitive. It's a harsh world, but as long as you're inside or wear a suit when going out, you'll be fine here. There's no breathable air on the surface, and you'll quickly freeze to death outside without protective gear, but otherwise the hazards are minimal. New Homestead was an early colony research base and has stood the test of time. It's safe, and it's proof that people can live pretty much anywhere. Don't worry so much. I don't. They make a mockery of New Homestead culture. And on top of it, they're reckless. It's like I said before, I feel like I'm treating them more often than our own people. The problem is that most of the tourists' injuries are from preventable accidents. Things our people know how to avoid. And often I have to take care of them first because they can't leave with their injuries, so I have to put off seeing my regular patients. So not only am I working extra hard for people who have little respect for me, it comes at the expense of our own. Actually, maybe there is. I have an idea that may be best suited for someone relatively unknown, instead of myself. I've got a mountain of work and a reputation to maintain. So I bought a realistic monster costume. The plan was to wear it, scare tourists away, and start a rumor about terrible creatures living on Titan. I figure that once word gets around, tourism will take enough of a dive to give me some relief. Maybe, I'm not sure. I know it sounds crazy. but I don't have any other ideas. The tourism board flat out won't help me, and I don't have money in the budget to hire additional help. And you know these tourists will believe anything they see and hear. I think it's worth a shot. Worst case scenario, I'm back to square one. That's the spirit. To be honest, I'm not sure it'll work either, but I feel like there's no harm in trying. Here's the costume. I think this will work best on the surface, so just find a group and run up to them, acting like a convincing alien monster. With any luck, they'll run screaming and book the next flight out of here.
Have any questions so far? Alrighty, we'll be taking the residential elevator to the farms area on the surface level. This way, please. Let's leave these good people alone for now and go check out the farms. Follow me up the elevator.
I can't wait to go away on my learning vacation when I grow up.
For some of Anya's cooking over at the Brown Room. We used to get more tourists than we do these days.
I don't mind the tourists. You get used to the methane processing smell after a while.
Awful. It's a little weird that people come here to see what early colony life was like. To me, it's just how we live.
Lots of history here, if you're into that sort of thing.
All these tourists are able to come and go as they please. I wish I had that kind of money. Oh, you don't really want to talk to me. I'm just a nobody from the crates. Besides, I'm not really good at talking to tourists about New Homestead. If you're really interested in our history, talk to Maurice. He's a lot better at that than I am. I feel like it sometimes. I don't have many friends, and I'm struggling to stay in my undergrad program. It feels like I'm never going to get out of here and make a name for myself. Anyway, if we're going to talk, maybe we should talk about something else. It's not as bad as you'd think. I like talking to off-worlders, especially people my age. It gives me ideas for what I want to do when I'm done with school. Because, honestly, I'm not sure I want to stay here. It'll always be my home, but as soon as I can afford to, I'd love to explore my options. Well, I'm trying to finish up my undergrad schooling, actually. I want to be a physicist like my grandmother. Then, who knows what. But I also do some odd jobs here or there for money. Sometimes I help Jay out at his shop, and he gives me stuff in return. Sometimes I help Anya clean up at the Brown Horse when she's short-staffed. That sort of thing. The crates are what we call the living quarters for the poor people, like me. They're made from old shipping containers. We have to make do with the space we have here. They're comfortable enough, I guess. And no one on Titan is well off to begin with, but you can tell that people look down on us, especially some of the tourists. Okay, well, no, not the studies specifically. Like, I get good grades when I'm able to apply myself. But I'm poor. I just don't have the kind of money to be a full-time student and support myself. Even living in the cheap-ass crates. I keep having to take odd jobs just to put food on my plate. And when I do, my grades suffer. I just feel like I'll be stuck in a rut forever. Really? I thought it was the only way. I remember my parents telling me that when they were still around. But maybe you're right. I guess I can put my studies on hold, at least until I get enough credits saved up to live on. I can always return to my studies then. Maybe part of the reason I feel I've been stuck in a rut is because I push myself too hard. Thanks for the advice. It helped.
Advice and a couple of credits is only good for a cup of coffee. Just saying. Bye.
Some say New Homestead is a backwoods world. Maybe it is, but that doesn't really bother me. Okay, well, no, not, but I keep having to take odd jobs just to put... What? Really? I don't know what to say. This is beyond kind of you. I mean, I don't even know you, but... Wow. Thank you.
Yeah, one day soon, that's gonna be me with a beggar bowl in hand trying to get credits so Cora can go to whatever elite institution she dreams up. Yeah, I was done too.
Thanks again for what you did for me. I'll remember your generosity. it's not as bad as you. Because thanks for stopping by to talk.
Those folks in Sidonia may be closer to Earth. Sure would be nice to get off-world sometime.
Hi there. Always nice seeing a new face. It's a little weird that people come here to see what early colony life was like. To me, it's just how we live.
You off-worlders have it made.